Retired Marine Corps Colonel Mark Cancian joins us now. He's a senior advisor for CSIS, that's the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Good morning, Colonel. Great to have you back with us. So what situation are we in here? Because Iran's foreign ministry says these latest strikes have effectively rendered the ceasefire meaningless. Is this now a stalemate? How would you describe this 100-day plus phase of this war?
Well, we're still in a stalemate. The two sides are refusing to compromise. The strait is still mostly shut, although there is a trickle of traffic going through it. Both sides are posturing. Not clear that there's a compromise ahead. We'll see what happens tonight, but the Iranians are not showing any interest in compromise or negotiations. So we may well have another set of strikes tonight.
What is the best way for our viewers to understand what's really happening? Because both President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance have said that the Iranian leadership is fractured, so it takes a while for them to get consensus on this memorandum of understanding that they're trying to reach. But as Catherine mentioned, we're 15 weeks into this, and yet you've got these taps, as Pete Hegseth described it, happening back and forth. So what will help move things in a different direction?
Well, it is true that the Iranian leadership is fractured. Of course, a lot of them have been killed or injured, and there's a split between the Iranian government and the Revolutionary Guards, which have the weapons. So it will take them time to react to proposals. But as you know, they've had a lot of time. What we're seeing is not a problem with them making decisions. Problem is that they believe that time is on their side. They're willing to impose this kind of suffering on their society, and they are, at least at this point, not willing to compromise.
We also mentioned that Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait have noted incoming Iranian strikes targeting U.S. military facilities. How might Gulf allies of the U.S. change their opinions on where they stand?
Well, that's an interesting point, because for the last several strikes, the Iranians have focused on those three countries, not on other countries like UAE or Qatar, where the U.S. also has forces. It appears that they're trying to split the Gulf states and maybe get some of them to acquiesce to an agreement. Overall, you have to keep in mind that there are 6 parties that will need to at least acquiesce to a final agreement. There's, of course, the U.S. and Israel. There's the Iranian government and the Revolutionary Guards. There are the Gulf states. And then there's the rest of the world. And they all may not be happy with an agreement, but they all have to at least acquiesce to it.
All right. Colonel Mark Cancian, thanks for being with us this morning.